Hello everyone. So in this video we will discuss about cardiac cycle. So it takes total 0.8 second uh, for a cardiac cycle to complete. Basically the cardiac cycle completes in three phases, that is atrial systole, ventricular systole and joint diastole. So out of 0.8 second, atrial systole takes 0.1 second, ventricular systole takes 0.3 second, and joint diastole, that is relaxation phase, it takes 0.4 second. So here in the side, this is the diagram of the ECG, electrocardiogram, and it has basically three sections, P wave, QRS complex, and T wave. So this P wave signifies this atrial systole, then QRS complex shows ventricular systole, and then this T wave, it shows joint diastole. So let's start with the discussion of cardiac cycle. So first of all, first phase is atrial systole. So during atrial systole, it takes 0.1 second. So the atria contracts, at the same time the ventricle relax. So here in this diagram, you can see that these atrioventricular valves are open, and since atrias are contracting, so the blood will flow from atrium to ventricles. So this depolarization of SA node, for SA node is sino-auricular node, which is pacemaker. Uh, the heartbeat initiates from the sino-auricular node only. So depolarization of the sino-auricular node causes the atrial depolarization, which is marked by the P wave in the ECG. Atrial depolarization causes atrial systole. As atria contracts, they exert pressure on the blood pressure within, which forces blood through the open AV valve into the ventricles. So it is but obvious, if atrias are contracting, obviously there will be certain blood pressure generates inside the atria, so which makes the atrioventricular valve to open. So as you can see in this diagram, these atrioventricular valves are open in this phase, and the blood is passing from atria to ventricle. So total ventricular blood capacity is 130 ml, out of which 25 ml blood contributes during this atrial systole. And then after the P wave, the QRS complex in the ECG, it marks the onset of ventricular depolarization. The next step is ventricular systole. As I already told you in the previous slide, that QRS complex, after P wave, there is QRS complex, which shows ventricular systole or contraction of the muscles of ventricle. So during ventricular systole, it lasts about 0.3 seconds. So the ventricles are contracting, and at the same time, atria are relaxed in the atrial diastole. So this 0.3 second, in this time, ventricles are contracting and atrias are relaxing. So this ventricular systole, it has two subphases. One is isovolumetric contraction, which lasts for 0.05 second, and the other one is ventricular ejection, which lasts for 0.25 second. So what happens during isovolumetric contraction? Ventricular depolarization causes ventricular systole. So as ventricular systole begins, the pressure rises inside the ventricles because ventricles start contracting, and it pushes the blood up against the atrioventricular valve. So when this ventricle contracts, obviously the blood will rush. There are two ways for the blood to rush out. Either the blood can backflow to the atria, or the blood can go to the pulmonary artery and to the aorta. So this backflow of blood, due to the structure of this atrioventricular valve, when the ventricle contracts, so that backflow of blood causes closure of these atrioventricular valve, or which are also known as cuspid valves. So about 0.05 second, all four valves, the semilunar valve, pulmonary semilunar valve and aortic semilunar valve, and these bicuspid and tricuspid valve. All four valves are closed during this time. So because all four valves are closed, so neither blood is coming inside the ventricle nor it is going outside the ventricle. So at that time, the volume of ventricle remains same. So that's why this phase is also known as isovolumetric contraction phase. Then next, after isovolumetric phase comes ventricular ejection. So because blood pressure keep on increasing in the ventricles due to the continuous contraction in the muscles of ventricles, these semilunar valves get open, pulmonary semilunar valve and aortic semilunar valve. So blood start exiting the ventricles. So continued contraction of the ventricle causes pressure inside the chamber to rise sharply when left ventricle pressure surpass aortic pressure at about 80 mm of Hg, and the right ventricular pressure rises above the pressure in the pulmonary trunk about 20 mm of Hg, both semilunar valve open. And as we all know that fluid moves from the higher pressure to lower pressure, so the blood will start moving from left ventricle to aorta and from right ventricle to pulmonary trunk. So this phase is known as ventricular ejection and it lasts about 0.25 seconds. So the pressure in the left ventricle continues to rise about 120 millimeter of mercury, and the pressure in the right ventricle climbs to about 25 to 30 millimeter of mercury. Now here one thing uh, is to note that the pressure is highest in the left ventricle and it is not that high in the right ventricle. Then what is the reason then that pressure is so high in the left ventricle but it is not that high in the right ventricle? Since ventricles are the distributing chambers, so they have to distribute the blood to the various part of the body, but right ventricle need to distribute the blood toward the lungs only, because right ventricle consists deoxygenated blood, and deoxygenated blood from right ventricle reaches to lungs through the pulmonary arteries, and lungs and heart, they reside very nearly in the chest cavity itself. So the path of distribution of the right ventricle, it is very small. But if we talk about the left ventricle, it need to pass the pure blood, or I must say oxygenated blood, to the farthest point of the body from brain up to the toe. So it needs to generate quite high blood pressure so that the blood could reach to each and every part of the body, and that's why the wall of the left ventricle are thickest most. Why? Because the blood pressure is highest in the left ventricle, that's why the wall of the left ventricle are thickest among all four chambers of the heart. So the left ventricle ejects about 70 milliliter of blood into the aorta, and right ventricle ejects the same volume of blood into the pulmonary trunk. The volume remaining in each ventricle at the end of systole is about 60 ml, and it is known as end systolic volume or stroke volume. Then after PQRS complex in the ECG, the next is T wave in the ECG, which marks the onset of ventricular repolarization, or we can say it marks the joint diastole. So the next phase is joint diastole or relaxation period. So during relaxation period, it lasts about 0.4 seconds. The atria and ventricles both are in relaxed condition. So this relaxation period is also divided again into two phases: isovolumetric relaxation and ventricular filling. So again, after ventricular systole, a moment happen when all four valves are closed. Cuspid valves were already closed during ventricular systole, and then aortic and the pulmonary semilunar valves are also they also closed. They also got closed. Why? Because gradually the pressure decreases in the ventricle. So when the pressure in the aorta and the pressure in the pulmonary trunk surpasses the pressure in the ventricle, then the blood start backflow. The blood start backflow from pulmonary trunk to ventricle and from aorta to left ventricle, and it makes these both these semilunar valves to get closed. So at about 100 millimeter of mercury, this aortic valve get closed, and this phase when all four they are closed during the relaxation phase, this phase is known as isovolumetric relaxation, because at this time neither the blood is entering the ventricle nor it is exiting the ventricle, so the overall volume doesn't get changed. That's why this phase is known as isovolumetric relaxation. After this, ventricular filling starts, because since the pressure in atrium surpasses the pressure in ventricle, so these cuspid valves these gets open, and then the blood will start filling into uh, from right atria to right ventricle, and from left atria to left ventricle. So as the ventricle continues to relax, the pressure falls quickly, and when ventricle pressure drops below the atrial pressure, so this point is to be noted, when ventricle pressure drops below atrial pressure, the AV valve open and ventricular filling begins. So the major part of ventricular filling occurred just after AV valve open. Blood that has been flowing into and building up in the atria during ventricular systole, then rushes rapidly into the ventricles. At the end of relaxation period, the ventricles are about three-quarter full. The P wave again appears in the ECG, which signals the start of another cardiac cycle, another atrial systole. So I hope it is clear to all of you. If you like my video, kindly subscribe my channel, and we are also on Instagram and Facebook. So please like our pages on Instagram and Facebook. And for more detail on this topic, please visit www.learnsciencesonline.com.